So second narrow. Oh, yep, we've got it. Okay,
All right.
Nella, we should be good to go and have Spanish translations. So anybody who wants that, make sure you select that. Yep, and she's live. So
And you're going to
that's
record?
yep, and I'm gonna hit that and we are good.
Awesome. Great. Welcome everybody to our science call. My name is Shannon Davis. I am a dietitian. I live here in Atlanta, Georgia, and tonight is going to be super special. So normally you have someone come on and teach something, but tonight you're going to have 4 people whose lives have been completely changed by this protocol come and teach us what they have done, what it was like before and after, and talk about motivation, talk about inspiration. We are going to learn a little bit from each person coming on here, and truly this is why I left corporate world. I've been a dietitian for 20 years, if that tells my age, I'm sorry. And I became a dietitian because I truly wanted to impact people's lives through food. And who doesn't love food? I just didn't know what I didn't know. And for 16 years of my career, I just taught people how to thrive, how to exist and not thrive. And then I learned about this amazing protocol that so impacted my life that I left. I left to to start a what's the word I'm looking for? A world takeover, I guess you could say, to teach people about this protocol because it truly saves people's lives. And so we're going to hear, like I said, from 4 different people. Then I'm going to come back on and I'm going to teach you what this amazing protocol is. So we are going to start with Renee. I had the pleasure of getting to meet Renee in person this past weekend. And when I heard her story, there's no other person that I think should start this call off than her. It was truly amazing. So, Renee, thank you for joining. Thank you for being vulnerable, coming on here. And there's 200 and we're almost at 300 people who can hear your story. And we have tons of people on live stream to hear. Just tell us a little about who Renee is. Renee, what was your life like before? How did you find this and what has it done for you?
Okay, make sure you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So, the funny thing is before I was diagnosed as type 2 diabetic and insulin resistant, I didn't feel sick. Didn't feel sick. I was overweight. I weighed 295 pounds. So obviously, there are conditions that go along with that. Being tired, I had really bad insomnia, low energy. But when I went to I had my thyroid irradiated about 20 years ago, no, 25 years ago. And once a year, I go back to the doctor to have my blood drawn. And when I went in September of 2025, my doctor did a full blood panel. And when I went back at the end of October to get the results, he told me that I was fully insulin resistant, that I was 0 0.1 away from type 2 diabetic. My A1C was, I think, 6.4.
Okay.
And he told me that you cannot reverse it. You can't reverse type 2 diabetes, and that it can only be managed by taking metformin. And I asked him if there were natural ways. He didn't go into very much information about what he was diagnosing me with, which was very frustrating. But I love to do research. So, of course, I went home and started researching away. But I did stop at the pharmacy on the way home and got the metformin. And, like I said, I didn't really feel sick. Like I feel like somebody would feel if they were type 2 diabetic. But over the next few days, I actually started feeling sick. And during the research, I found Unicity on TikTok. And, one night when I was up at 3 a.m. and I decided, okay, 90 days, money back guarantee, why not? It sounded like he was talking right to me. I had psoriasis on both of my elbows. Let me give me just a second and I'll pull up the picture. So can you see
Yeah.
that?
Wow.
Okay,
Yes.
so that was one elbow and then that was the other. And by the end of the first month of using Unicity, they were both gone. Both elbows had been completely cleared up. And then, and then to show everybody, here's my before.
Wow. Wow. Renee, it's interesting how we sort of normalize things because we don't know any different. Things have to get done. We have to move on with life and we just accept these things as normal. Like that's not normal on your elbows.
No, it's
Being
not.
being overweight and uncomfortable and when we're insulin resistant, our cells aren't really able to uptake the energy, so we don't have good energy, we don't have good mental clarity, but that's just normal. And then prior, had you ever heard the term insulin resistant? Did you
No.
even suspect?
Nope, I had no idea. And, I'm an educated woman and I research and I know a lot about health and food, but I had no idea what insulin resistance was. And my doctor did not take the time to explain it to me. All he did was write me a prescription, told me that it was manageable, not reversible, the diabetes portion, and that I would have to take it for the rest of my life. So here's an interesting little tidbit. It was right around 2 weeks after after the diagnosis and doing the metformin, that the Unicity came in the mail and I started and I went full in. I started eating at 7 and at 12 and 7, doing the mates, from when I woke up to lunch and then between lunch and dinner. And for the first week, I lost 12 pounds. In the first month, I lost 30 pounds. And from October 1st, when I started, through July, which is now, I am down 105 pounds. I am no longer type 2 diabetic and I'm no longer insulin resistant. But let me tell you the most fascinating part of this story. I went back to the doctor and sat down and had a discussion with him. And I took Dr. Benjamin Bickman's book with me, Why We Get Sick, highlighted. And I'd only had it for a month and it is like I'd been reading it. It looked like I'd had it for years. And I gave him the book and he was like, oh, wow, you're doing so well on metformin. I said, no, I was only on it for 2 weeks, so I went ahead and took myself off. I do not encourage people to stop taking their medicine without consulting their doctor, but I had only been on it for 2 weeks. So I just said, okay, I'm off. And I told him, I said, I've been doing intermittent fasting and preloading my meals with fiber and drinking chlorogenic, yerba mate tea to help with the food noise, and offered him the book and he refused it. And he said, there's no way that you've done this with intermittent fasting. He said, it's not possible.
Wow.
So that was my last visit with him. And I now have a doctor who not only believes in me and the protocols, but he was trained in India. And he got his MD, he was got all of his training in India and came to America to become a doctor. And he and his whole entire family, their village, all of them, they do intermittent fasting. So I didn't have to convince him of anything.
That's amazing. That's incredible. And one last question. Had you ever tried to get healthy in the past? If you had, what is different about then and different about now that you found the Feel Great system? And we'll close with that.
Okay, I'll try and make it really quick. I've done low carb dieting my whole adult life, and I've always had success with it. But inevitably, you always, you stop and then you gain the weight back. I also did the GLP-1 shots, lost 80 pounds, learned what the Gila monster poison was that gave the gastroparesis, and I stopped. In 4 months, I gained all 80 pounds back. In 2 further months, I gained another 20. So what I have learned and through Unicity is that it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. It's not about restricting what I eat. What I learned is I was eating too often, and now I eat in the order that, the fiber, fats, proteins, and carbs. And my last thing, for people who don't know about it, I cook my rices, my potatoes, any of my starches 24 hours ahead, let them cool, put them in the refrigerator, and eat them the next day and following there. And that makes them become resistant starches. And that is almost the same as taking fiber.
I love it. Well, that is incredible, and thank you so much. And I think it's really important to see that you got help. The weight loss was a side effect of you getting metabolically healthy. And guys,
Absolutely.
when you reverse your insulin resistance using this protocol to help, the side effect is the weight loss. And so thank you so much for being an inspiration. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for sharing your story. And guys, I mean, if anybody can inspire you, it's Renee. And I got to meet her in person, and she's as lovely in person as she is through this Zoom. And wow, 105 pounds since October. No more diabetes, no more medication. Unreal. Thank you, Renee.
Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate the opportunity
Oh,
to tell my testimony.
the world needs to hear it. So don't ever stop saying it. Okay.
Okay, thanks. And
Awesome.
I'll mute myself. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Awesome. Guys, that is just the first one. You have 3 more amazing stories to come. So the next person we're going to bring on is Liz. And there's sweet Liz. Liz, I've not got to meet in person, but I have met her online several times. And if anybody's story will bring you to tears, it is hers. She has had quite a life experience thrown at her, and she has prevailed. So, Liz, let's hear your story, my friend. You are on mute. Do you know how to, can you unmute yourself? We can see you. There you go. There you go. Awesome. So,
I can't.
Liz,
Can you hear me?
we can hear you. It could be your internet. You're flipping around all. There you go. There you go.
Okay.
But
I
tell
still don't hear.
it's okay. It's okay. Just tell everybody
My
a little bit
glasses,
about.
I see the glare. Let me take these off. I don't need to see.
You're okay, my friend. Tell
All right.
everybody a little bit about who Liz is
Oh,
and about your history, because that's truly, I mean, you have lived quite a life.
I go back 7 years ago when I lost my daughter. My health just went into the toilet. I'm a retired nurse, and I feel like I should own better as far as my health was concerned. But I was just given so many misguided truths or whatever they want, mistruths. I don't know what you want to call them. I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, told I'd be on it when it was manageable, but not curable for life. I was diagnosed with AFib and SVT of my heart, 2 heart diseases they said that were never curable, but manageable with medication. I suffered from horrible insomnia, horrendous heartburn, and inflammation on my body was crazy. I got my metformin, my A1C down to 5.7 on my own within a year. I lost 30 pounds, but it took everything. I felt like I was dying in the gym like a lunatic just to lose minimal amount of weight. I finally Shannon, and it sounded almost too good to be true because I'm 68. I've tried everything way back from, Atkins. Everything, Weight Watchers, everything. And I've really never struggled being heavy, like extreme heavy, but I've always had that extra 20, 30 pounds that just I couldn't do anything with it. Well, after my daughter passed away, I put on 70 pounds, and I've never had been this heavy in my life. I said I lost 30 pounds, saw Shannon. It seemed too expensive for me. Like I said, I'm a retired nurse. I'm on a thick income. I thought $159 a month was just too high. But after 5 months of watching her and monitoring and my health still, taking 8 medications a day, nothing was getting better. I dove in because what do we have to lose? Nothing but our health, right? And $5 a day, we spend that on what? A coffee? I mean, whatever. $5 is nothing when you break it down to that. And I started September 1st last year. Within 4 months, I was off all of my medication, everything. I've had 2 physicals complete. One was complete with my heart, everything, bone density, everything. My doctor says, I don't know what you're doing, but keep it up. When I told him what I was doing, he told me I was crazy and that I had to be lying to him. I had to have been doing weight loss drugs on the side, which wouldn't have changed my my LDL came down from 299 to 199 in 4 months. So even if it was a weight loss drug, it wouldn't have attributed to everything else that this corrected. Honestly, the thing I hated the worst was my sleep and my heartburn. Those were the 2 things. I mean, I couldn't feel it really. I couldn't feel that I was diabetic or insulin resistant or fatty liver. You can't feel any of that. The insomnia and the heartburn was something that day in and day out drove me almost crazy. Sleep, I would lie there 3 days, I wouldn't sleep, cry all night long, like, dear Lord, I'd be looking at the sky. Why can't I sleep? Please, Lord. And I was exhausted. And let me tell you, I can't make it till 10 o'clock. I mean, I'm tired now. And I'm up at 6 o'clock. I try to some days say, oh, can I sleep till 7? No, my body's ready at 6 a.m. I'm off all my medications. This is a lifesaver. It's a lifestyle change for me. And I don't drink anything except this. It's all I drink. I don't drink anything. Water, but I start my morning with the yerba mate warm, and I do 2.5 cups warm. And I do a electrolyte, which is just salt in my hydrogenated water in the morning, before the gym, and that's it. And then, I just go on with my day, and it's not, people don't understand. I've only got one friend that's joined on, and she's liking it so far. She has had a little problem in the beginning, but, I keep telling you, we didn't get metabolically unhealthy overnight. So it's going to take time.
Right.
And everything takes time.
Right.
But I am down 68 pounds. I've kept this weight off now since December. I've been the exact same way every day. I mean, it fluctuates 2 pounds here, 2 pounds there, but I have been the same exact weight. I have not felt this good, Shannon, in 20 years. I owe it to you, to the Feel Great system, to Unimate. I mean, I don't know why everybody in the world isn't doing this.
Well, Liz, you are truly an inspiration. Guys, Liz messaged me in the morning. She swims, she lifts weights, she's in the sauna. I mean,
Yeah,
she
stitches from the gym yesterday,
That's-
Shannon. I jammed my finger in the weights.
but you kept going. Guys,
I did.
well,
You have to. I want to be around to be 90.
now let me ask you one last question, Liz.
Yep.
With your history as a nurse,
Mhm.
and your history with losing weight in the past and gaining it back, would you say that this time around, you think it's something that's realistic for you to maintain? And was it easier?
Oh, this is simple. This is the easiest thing I've ever done. Like, where was this, 30 years ago when we were all crazy doing Atkins and counting carbs and oh my gosh. My food, I thought I was going to have a hard time with the fasting. Well, once you get enough protein in your body, it changes your hormones and it flips a switch between leptin and ghrelin, and it makes you feel satisfied. It's not that full feeling like after you have pasta and bread and you want to take a nap. That's a carb. Ugh, that's gross. This though, I mean, even my significant other, he sees my meal at like around 1 o'clock, 2 every day. And I mean, it's always 3 eggs, meat, cottage cheese, half an avocado, and some kind of berries. And my plate is massive, and I eat it all. And I have no problem eating it all.
I
I'm
love it.
hungry for it all. I want it all. And I'm not hungry again. I start thinking about it, I'm going to be honest, around 4:30, 5 o'clock. But I push myself and I make it till dinner, and I have a nice, big, full dinner.
I love
And
it.
it is a big help, I'm telling you, to get up, even if you can't go out and walk, even if it's not a nice day, even if you don't have stairs, stand up and try to do 10 squats right after you eat. Even if
Right.
you have to hold on to something, move your leg muscles, move your body. Even, like I said, even if it's for 3 minutes,
Right.
it makes such a difference.
Right. Well, I appreciate you. I know you were nervous about coming on and talking
Ah,
in front of, but it really
my
inspires Liz.
Boston accent.
No, there might be a little one in there. I'm sure it's quite
Oh,
significant from mine. But
yeah.
thank you so much, my friend. Continue to share this with your friends and family and be an
Thank
inspiration
you.
to all of us. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. And anybody watching, you have nothing to lose but your health. And it is completely money back guarantee. So really, what do you have to lose? Absolutely nothing. Give it a try. It'll be a lifesaver.
Well,
Bye, Shannon. Have a good
bye,
night.
Liz. Thank you so much,
Bye,
my friend.
sweetie. Bye, sweetie.
Bye. Guys, so there's two people who literally took a risk with their health and said, what do I have to lose? Right? Most people that find people like me and other people that are on social media talking about this amazing protocol, this ain't your first rodeo, right? Most people have tried everything, and it's truly amazing. I hear it from so many people. I have been doing this for almost 4 years, and every time I meet an amazing person, the words that come out of their mouth is, why did I not know about this? Why did my doctor not tell me about this? So that is why we're here today, just to share these stories, because lives are being saved every day. So the next person we're going to bring on is Rick. Rick has a pretty incredible story himself. Rick and I have gotten to be social media friends. I feel like I know many of you through social media. So Rick, tell us a little bit about where you were at prior, and then how this protocol has changed your life.
Well, I would say that in my prior life, and starting in about 2020, I went through quite a few deaths in my family, which kind of pushed me a little further down the wrong road. I started in about 2021, actually walking. I started walking actually, a friend of mine walks about 6 miles every day. I started walking about 4 miles every day. I was at 317. Over time, within the next couple of years, after those people passed in my family, I came around full circle and just try to work through that, work through the grieving process and stuff. And I think a lot of times people go through those things and they kind of put their health on the back burner. And I realized the next time I went to my regular annual checkup, my A1C was pushing 10. And so I had a serious thing to face in front of me. And for the next, probably maybe the next year, tried everything I could find online. And then one day I found Shannon, and I found these 2 packets right here. They changed my life. And I can't tell you, the other things were constantly having to go to the cabinet to find a bottle of pills that was gonna do this and was gonna do that and all this and all that. Those two simple little packs changed my life significantly. I thought for a moment, for the investment that would make into my life, I didn't look at it as, you know, you hear a lot of people say, well, I'm going to try this and see. I mean, it's money back guarantee, but I can tell you, I'm a living testimony that these two packets changed my life. Between the Unimate and the Balance product, absolutely changed my life. I started the protocol on January 1st of 2025. And at the time I was around 280, 285. I continued to do it through the rest of the year of 2025. By the time I got to, actually I got married in October of 25, but by the time I got to that point, I was down about 80 pounds, maybe 83 pounds, something like that. So the product was working. I continued to walk and do my exercises and so forth. And I, like a lot of others, I didn't really feel bad, but I knew I could not have my A1C at 10. So I wanted to make a difference in my life. And I think the thing that really interested me is about the products are they are flexible in that if one day you want to do mate in the morning or in the afternoon, or if you'd like to do it in the morning, feel free to do so. I think what changed it for me is I get to control what I take and when I take it. And you have to find out what works for your body and what doesn't work for your body. In the product, it's in the simplicity of the product makes it simple to be able to use. So I can take 2 Balance in the morning if I want to. I could take 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and so forth. Same thing with the Unimate. And it completely changed my life. I was wearing size 52 pants when I started, and I'm wearing 42. So I'm down 10 sizes in a short amount of time and with a year's time. And that just thrilled me to death. A lot of people talk about weight, but the inches matter too as well. But your overall being, yeah, that was my before picture, which when I saw it myself was a bit flabbergasted. I was very unhealthy. Even though I was walking and so forth, I just knew that was not the right road to stay on. And I knew after my doctor told me that I would be on metformin for the rest of my life, I didn't want anything to do with it because I knew and I felt in my heart and my mind he was not interested in my best interest, although MDs are sworn to that promise to be your benefit and be your advocate. But what's kind of odd about the whole situation with me taking Unimate and Balance is after I turned the leaf in December 31st of 25, when I got to January 1st of 26, I completely started weaning myself off of my metformin. You obviously have to check with your doctor and stuff like that to try to find out, exactly what you can and cannot do. You have to wean yourself off. You can't just obviously take yourself off of drugs and stuff. But I weaned myself off, and by the end of January this year, I completely got off of all metformin. And I
Now, what's
wasn't
your
on
A1C? Have
my
you
A1C. Last time I went to do my A1C was 6.0. So
from 10?
yeah, I'm down 4 points, which I still got a ways to go to get down back in the
But you're off meds,
area.
and that's
Yeah.
incredible.
Well, I was on five metformins a day, and he said the next step was going to be insulin. So I was like, my dad's family, all 17 kids on his side of the family had diabetes, and I wasn't going to be number 18 if I come hell or high water. I wasn't going to do it. So,
Amazing.
I
Amazing.
I think the thing that really strikes me is that you have to be, number one, you have to be faithful. You have to have hope in yourself. You have to love yourself enough to turn the corner. You have to be perseverant and in everything you're doing with it. I try not to miss a day. There are days where I decide not to do it if I'm out of town for some reason or whatever. I don't take it with me. And the last thing, most important thing I think is I ripped off the rear view mirror. I'm never going back to the old Rick.
I love
I'm a
it.
new Rick. And I look forward with faithfulness and with God's promises. I'm going to be successful at what I'm doing, and I'm going to stay healthy for a very long time. So thank you so much for. When I found you that day on Facebook, I was like, "This lady's talking. She's talking my language." So I was like, "I got to find something that actually works." So
Well,
uh,
thank
uh,
you for taking a chance with a stranger,
yeah, yeah,
um, and giving it a try. And you're a walking testimony to you don't have to be perfect, right? You just be
absolutely not.
consistent and
Absolutely.
stick with it. And that's the beautiful thing about this, guys, is it's not an all or nothing. It's not something that you're going to do for a second, and it's something that works with anyone's life. And it's flexible. So
Right.
thank you. Thank you, Rick, for coming on. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing your story. And look, you just continue living the life.
I think to myself every day, what is my life worth? It's
Yeah.
priceless, right? And if you look at it from that perspective of enjoying life with your kids, your grandkids, your wife, your spouse, your friends, your family, things like that, what is your life worth? It's worth everything. It's priceless. So it's important to value yourself and to keep looking forward and keep working on it and being faithful about it. And the product is absolutely, if you have any question about the product, don't doubt the product. The product proves itself over and over. Is still doing it 2 years later, is still proving itself to me. So thank you for
Wow.
having me on.
Thank
I
you. Thank
appreciate
you
it.
so much, Rick. Yes,
You
thank you.
bet.
Guys, it's the quality of your life. I think at least when I turn 99 or 100, I'm going to make it to 100. I want that to be quality of life. What's the point of getting to that age if you can't live it, if you can't enjoy it, and you can't be with the people that you love? And so that is truly what we're here to talk about. It's not about perfection. It's really not even about weight loss. It's about true metabolic health, which is is something that's affecting 93% of our country. And we're going to get to that in a minute. But we have one more amazing person that's going to come on. Corey, I've not had the pleasure to meet Corey, but he is going to come on. And Corey, my friend, tell everyone a little bit about where you were at before Unicity came into your life and what is different. What is different now, and a little bit about how your life has changed.
All right. Well, hello everyone. I'm new to the Unicity Party. I've only been on this for 2 months. My main thing is I wanted to focus on body recomposition, and I had a great guy named Jeff Shotwell, my coach, and I would see him come in at work. We worked together, and he had his bottle, and I kept asking him, "Man, what is in that bottle?" And he just kept telling me, "Hey, man, it's the stuff that you need. It's stuff you need." So I took the plunge. But a little bit about me: I played sports. And then once I really started working, I used to play basketball about 4 or 5 times a week as I was young. And then as I got kind of a little older, the aches and pains, and you can't play ball anymore like you used to. So I gained some weight. So I went from probably about playing at around 165, 170 to I ballooned up to probably about 235. Over a few years though. Still worked out, still did things, but just was always looking for something to take it to another level. I've done the whole calorie counting and trying to fast and things of that nature. I don't eat everything anyway. I don't eat beef, I don't eat pork. Very rare do I eat chicken. So a lot of the stuff was just those starches or just the times that I would eat and things of that nature. So that's kind of what piled it on. But the main thing is just this product allowed me to really just hone in on my fasting, allowed me to do my workouts in a fasted state.
Mhm.
And you could just tell the difference with this body recomposition. I'm in education, so we were all for the summer. So I've been on it, like I said, for about 60 days, and I went back to work, and everybody was looking at me a little different. So I mean, with just 60 days, my body already has kind of shifted. So I
What
love
do
what
you
I
notice?
see.
What are you noticing, Corey? Are your workouts better? Are you recovering faster? Are you sleeping better? Do you feel like you have more control around your food? What are those things that just feel better?
Well, the energy level is through the roof.
Okay.
I'm an energetic guy naturally. So I can definitely tell now that what I thought was a lot of energy is not a lot of energy. This thing really enhanced my energy levels in the gym. It allowed me to eat less, focus in on my workouts a lot more, um, and just really allowed me to continue on with that fasting protocol that allows me to just really hone in on the specifics of what I'm really trying to do with my body. My coach Shotwell is always on me about increasing my protein because, like I said, I don't eat the beef or the pork, so he's always on me about, man, you got to make sure you get your protein in. You got to make sure you get your protein in, and
I'm going to second that. You're talking to a dietitian here. So
yeah.
you and I
So I
will talk
definitely
after
do.
the call.
Yeah, thank you. I thank you. So, but I have noticed that I'm losing the weight, but I'm gaining that muscle.
Okay.
So I haven't allowed myself to get on the scale in 60
Oh, okay.
days.
Okay.
But I've noticed it in my clothes, obviously. People have also noticed it, but I didn't necessarily want to be attached to a scale and have that in my mind. No matter what I weigh, today or tomorrow, it doesn't end that process of what I'm doing. So when I
Right.
finally decide to get on the scale, I get on the scale. But that's not going to make me go any harder, any less. If
Yeah.
anything, it might discourage me a little bit if I think I'm should be this down and I'm not. So I don't even focus on the scale and just focus on how I feel.
That's amazing. Now, have you tried fasting before this? Had you tried it before?
Yes, I tried it before and it was difficult at times because I've never been like a breakfast person where I gotta wake up and eat. So naturally, I might not eat till 11 or 12 o'clock. And
Okay.
it's okay. The only thing is once I eat, now I'm eating.
Okay.
And I'm not necessarily one of those people that go to bed super early. So I might eat twice today, but one might be 11:30 and the other one might be at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Got it.
So this just allowed me to actually stay focused and stay locked in on a plan. And I have nothing but great things to say about it. I'm gonna be honest
I
with you.
love it.
I'm only
Show
60
show
days in.
everybody your before picture.
Okay.
Do you have it?
Yeah, I got it. So
There you go. So
you
you
can
can see it. You can tell a difference. Absolutely.
oh yeah.
That's amazing.
And
Amazing.
this is 60 days. So my main thing is just continue to listen to my coach, continue to make sure that protein is where it needs to be, and just continue to try to live a healthy lifestyle and share the word. Like I said, I think when people see you and they see what you're doing, they always are going to ask questions. And I can tell you this is genius because this hooked me. I saw the pretty bottle and I was like, man, what are you drinking? And he was like, man, this is going to change your life.
It's easy, right? I mean, what would you tell people that have never tried it before? Um, this versus something that you've tried in the past. How easy is it?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I take the hydration pack sometimes.
Mhm.
So it just reminds me of like the hydration packs. You just pop it in some water and shake it up and you keep it moving. The one thing that I think this is different is the taste. Like
Mm.
it's not something that's super chalky. It's not something that you really mind, don't mind drinking. I
Yeah.
love drinking this. I'm not a big coffee guy anyway. I'm not a huge tea guy
Yeah.
anyway. So something like this is great for me in the morning, drinking it. And then when you top that with how the balance tastes, I mean, it's just I mean, it's just super easy.
Yeah, amazing. Well, we so much appreciate you coming on. It's been such a pleasure meeting you, and we're gonna have you back, and you're gonna have to like let us know how you're doing, and you know, continue the progress, my
Well, I
friend.
appreciate you, and I appreciate what you're doing um, to help all of the people out there that really need this. You're saving lives, so kudos to you.
But so are you. I mean, and that's why it's so important for y'all to come on here and tell your story, because there is someone just like you sitting out there hearing this now, and hearing your story is going to help them make the decision that they've been contemplating for so long. I mean, I have people, Corey, that say they watched me for 6 months to a year,
Wow.
and they just have to wait till the time's right. So yes, we're all saving lives, but I promise you, you're influencing and you're talking to people in a way that I can't. And so please keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you so much. Guys, this is truly amazing. If you look in the comments, you'll see all of these hearts and all of the congratulations and kudos, because what you have done is no small feat, okay? I would love for y'all, anybody that's on the product, please do not exaggerate. If you want to put in the chat, we've just heard how it's changed these four people's lives. So if y'all want to put in the chat what it's done for you, we'll read a couple of these, and then I'm going to explain exactly what this amazing protocol that you've heard people talk about, what it is. So let me just read a couple things. So Ralph says 50.2 pounds gone, A1C 7.9 to 5.4. He's down from a 4XL to an XL. He's off 11 meds a day down to 2. Reverse type 2 diabetes, lost over 100 pounds. That's insanity. Down 65 pounds, off 5 meds, reverse neuropathy and fatty liver. No more snoring. I know your wife is very happy about that, Brian. Down 34 pounds, 14 issues on your list gone, 58 pounds gone, depression reversed, no more reflux, reduced adult acne, 6% body fat, right? Increased lean muscle. And as we age, for someone 61 in menopause, gaining muscle, my gosh, that's incredible. Lowered my triglycerides by 53 points, off a statin, off anxiety drugs after 16 years, lost 165 pounds off of 10 meds. Guys, I can go on. No more perimenopause symptoms. Let's see. 65 years old, off 2 of 3 meds. You can read these. 60 days in, down 21 pounds. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to have to stop because I could read on and on and on. But y'all read in the comments. These are real life stories from people just like us who have followed this protocol. So what is this protocol? I am going to share my screen, and I am going to pull up some slides. So y'all let me know if y'all can see those. All right. Okay. So I know the name's a little bit cheesy. I kind of giggle every time I tell somebody about it with a straight face. It's called the Feel Great system. And if you really have tried it, you know why it's called the Feel Great system. People think I'm this crazy lady because I get so passionate about when I talk about it, about what it does. I know they think I'm cuckoo until they try it, and then they're like, now I know what you're talking about. So when we talk about metabolic health, guys, it's really sad. 93% of our country is sick. We're supposed to be the prominent country in the world, to set an example, to lead, but yet we're all sick. And it's not a lack of willpower. It's not a lack of discipline, right? Every single person that came on and told their story will tell you they have tried. It's not because they haven't tried. It's not because they're not disciplined. No one chooses to be sick. But when you are in an environment that sets you up to be sick, it's really hard to be healthy. But you may think to yourself, well, I don't have diabetes. I don't have insulin resistance. My friends, it's much more than diabetes. That's just the extent, the end result. But we're talking about PCOS, which is now PMOS for women, erectile dysfunction for men, fatty liver. You don't feel fatty liver, okay? Heart disease. Heart disease is still the number one cause of death in the US. Do you know what the number one cause of heart disease is? Diabetes. Okay. High blood pressure. Many people. I worked in dialysis for 12 years. The two main causes of dialysis, diabetes and hypertension. And do you know over half of those people I had two dialysis clinics within a quarter of a mile from each other with over 200 patients. And I guarantee you 80% of those people ended up in the ER and slapped on dialysis. They never knew that they had high blood pressure. They never knew that they had diabetes. Okay. Alzheimer's or dementia, migraines, neuropathy, do your feet hurt, gout, right? Obesity. How many of you eat and then a few hours later, you're hungry again, or you crash, right? Or you have brain fog, skin tags. Guys, that's not a dermatological problem. You can take those jokers off and they're going to come right back on. Why? Because you haven't fixed what's causing them in the first place. So you heard me say it's not people's lack of willpower. It's not lack of discipline. It's our environment. So what is really going on? Think about it. When you go to a restaurant to eat, let's think of like maybe a steakhouse or a Mexican restaurant. What happens? You sit down before you've even like got a menu, they're slapping rolls or bread or chips on the table. Why do you think? It's not to be, maybe it's to be nice. I don't know. But it is, there is a reason, right? Those are refined carbohydrates, refined starches. What do those do? They raise your glucose really high, really fast. And so your body squirts out your pancreas a lot of insulin, which makes your glucose go down really fast, and you're hungry, right? You're hungry. And so you're hungry because those are simple carbohydrates. And I'm just going to publicly apologize as a dietitian. I probably contributed to this right here. This schedule that you see, eat every 2 to 3 hours. I probably told you that. And I didn't know what I didn't know. But we know much better now. And we know that we're not children. We don't need to grow. So we don't need to eat every 2 to 3 hours. And if we simply, you heard many of these people talk about intermittent fasting. All that's doing is shrinking your eating window. And not once did we say anything about eating less food. You're just eating less often. And there are studies that show if you change nothing about what you eat, except you shrink the window in which you eat it, every marker of metabolic health improves. I mean, that's pretty profound. So not only can we eat less, but if we look at the foods that we eat, and I love talking about food as a dietitian, but look right here, this apple and this apple juice. How many of y'all can eat like 6 or 7 apples? Probably not many of us, right? God didn't put fiber with an apple by accident. It is the perfect food. It is a carbohydrate, but it comes wrapped in fiber, right? Apple juice is ultra processed. The fiber has been removed. I mean, you could drink 5,000 calories worth of apple juice and go, let's go eat, because our bodies don't comprehend that. Fiber, you really can't out-eat fiber. And that's what's amazing about these packs. The same with rice, right? Why? Why are they removing fiber? Well, they want us to eat more food. The more food we eat, the more money we spend, the more products we buy. But also fiber does not last a long time on the shelf. Fiber isn't you can't freeze it, right? You can't freeze an apple. If you freeze an apple, it's not worth anything, but you sure can freeze that apple juice, right? And fiber doesn't really taste that great. So if they remove the fiber, then we eat it, we eat more, and we don't get full, right? Uh-oh. There we go. So what is the Feel Great system? There's two parts to the Feel Great system. So we're going to start with, mine's pink because it's berry, but this is orange. They're the same thing. This is bringing fiber back. So food processors and manufacturers are taking it out. We're putting it back. If you can think of this pack right here, if we have any fishermen on, the nets, when you go run a net through the water, the insoluble fiber is like the net. Okay. So it's going to trap some of that glucose. Then when you combine it with soluble fiber, think of the net. Now there's kelp all in the net. So now really nothing really passes through that, right? So that's what's beautiful about this. It's a blend of soluble and insoluble fibers. But guess what? You don't have to take a bag of salad or cucumbers or vegetables with you to eat at your meal. You just bring this pack. And you heard Corey talk about how good it tastes. I'm a bit of a weirdo. I mean, I mix my full bottle up with water because it like makes me giddy. I think it's like a sweet treat. And I drink that whole thing before my meal because it tastes so good. Now, besides providing fiber back into our diet, what exactly does it do? Well, it lowers your glucose, right? It lowers your glucose. Anybody on metformin? Probably many of y'all are on metformin. Metformin's still the top prescribed diabetic drug in the world. It's been out for a very, very long time. Metformin lowers glucose about 25 to 30%, and I didn't make that up. It's in the clinical studies. This little pack of fiber, this plant fibers and vitamins and minerals, lowers glucose up to 43%. Guys, that's more than metformin. And it's simple. You open the pack, you mix it in the water, shake, shake, chug, right? It also targets triglycerides and the small oxidized LDL. The Cleveland Clinic, which is the top cardiac hospital in the nation, has studied this product. That should not go unnoticed. They stated down here at the bottom that this product, if taken regularly, could reduce cardiovascular risk on a population basis and potentially decrease the need or dose of lipid-lowering drugs, also known as statins. Okay? I personally had an unbelievable experience with this product. My triglycerides, and you don't walk around like with, I have high triglycerides or cholesterol on your forehead, but I did. And mine went from 250 down to 50 in 8 weeks using the Feel Great system, and I changed nothing else. So I personally, as a dietitian that specializes in metabolic health, will never miss a day. I've never missed one in almost 4 years, and I will continue to be on it, and everyone in my family is on it as well. All right. What is the second part? The Unimate, the tea that everyone's speaking of, right? Why is this so special? We know we've heard of Ozempic and Mounjaro, these GLP-1 drugs, right? Why do they work? Right? Why do
Hi, I
diets?
know you're just about closed. Can I still get a couple things?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. Why do diets fail? Right? Diets fail because hunger wins. If we control hunger, we are in control of what we put in our mouth. That's not a discipline or willpower. We can be successful at that in the beginning, but the more weight we lose, the more calories we cut. And guess what happens? The more that hunger comes back with a vengeance. That's why those drugs work. But guess what? Our body makes GLP-1, but it makes it in a much smaller dose. So when you drink this yerba mate concentrate, this special one, it increases our own production up to 67, 70%. So it does shut off that food noise. It does allow us to control our hunger. If you control your hunger, you can control what you put in your mouth. Okay? Because by gosh, are we surrounded with temptations everywhere. I mean, you can't even take your dog to the vet without having the little coffee station and little goodies there. Okay? So hardware store, Home Depot, why does Home Depot need to have candy bars? I just don't get it. So when you use this, it shuts off the food noise. But energy, you heard these 4 individuals talk about how much energy they have. I will vouch for that. I get up at 5:20. It's almost 10 o'clock here in Georgia, and I'm still raring to go. But it's a clean, sustained energy. It's not a crash. It increases insulin sensitivity. Y'all, just take my word from it. That's something that we all want. And one other thing we don't really talk about as much is inflammation. Inflammation really is the demise of our body. That is really what slowly kills us. Our body has inflammation everywhere, and it takes the best over the best of us. And this product lowers inflammation. Why? The liver makes glutathione. That is the most potent antioxidant in the body. This increases the liver's production of glutathione. So you heard Corey talk about how good he feels in the gym, how he's able to exercise more and harder. That's because of the glutathione. It is not coincidental. So when you combine these two products, you get appetite control, you get lower inflammation, you get better energy, you get better gut health, lower glucose, right? All of these things. So it's very simple. We can make it work for you in your life. If intermittent fasting, and all intermittent fasting is shrinking your eating window. I always recommend people start with 12 hours and gradually increase your way up to 14 or 16. And if I can make a recommendation, don't keep it the same every time. Change, keep your body guessing. Maybe you do 12 hours one day, maybe you do 14 one day, maybe you do 16. Keep your body guessing, but you're not willpowering and white knuckling it. You're drinking your mate. So it really makes it super simple. I get up in the morning, I drink this. I go to the gym. I use it throughout the gym. I come home, and it's time to eat. I'll mix up my balance. I drink it right before my meal. I focus on protein, Corey, protein, and non-starchy vegetables. I drink another one throughout the afternoon, when you get tired or you might get a little munchy. And then I have another one before my biggest meal, my dinner. So I have 2 balance and 2 mate. All right. And y'all heard the testimonials. So anyway, let's see if we have 3 minutes, guys. I'm going to stop sharing. If anybody has any questions, let me pull up the chat. I will open it up for 3 minutes of questions. I want to be considerate of courteous of your time. So let's see. Let me get down to the bottom. Okay. Let's see. What's good? Now you start to get better. Okay. What advice would you give someone that gets hungry before bedtime? Oh, that's great. So if you really think about it, bedtime is a full day. We've had full meals. We've eaten all day, right? That should realistically be the least hungry that we are, but I'm going to vouch for that. I can fast all morning, even after I'm not eaten all night. I've worked out and not be hungry. But by the end of the day, after I've had a full day's worth of food, that's when I'm hungry. So it's not a lack of food hunger. It's usually an emotional hunger. It's usually a habitual hunger, because most of our lives, I'm probably not the only one that sits on the couch, watches TV, and would eat. And so you've conditioned yourself, kind of like Pavlov's dog, to when you sit on the couch to want to eat. It's a conditioned hunger. So what I would recommend is either mix yourself up a balance and drink it, or if you have the decaf mate, you could heat one up and sip on that. I like to do the chocolate mint brownie, like hot chocolate, or just brush your teeth with some minty toothpaste, because food sure doesn't taste good when you have that mint in your mouth. But that's what I would recommend, is really change something. Get up and walk around. You've got to retrain your brain. You've got to create a new neural pathway, because that pathway is conditioned. You sit on the couch, it's late at night, eat. Okay. So somebody said, what is this? So Miss Karen, it is a natural protocol, so a nutraceutical, that helps with insulin resistance. So it's a tool. It's a tool that helps people lower their glucose naturally, lower their triglycerides naturally, eliminate snacking and incorporate some time restricted eating to improve gut health, to lower inflammation, all naturally. These products come with a 90-day money back guarantee. They're FSA, HSA approved, okay? And if you're interested, please go to the person that invited you to this call, because just think about it. You heard from 4 people today whose lives have been profoundly changed by trying this product. So what if that could be you? What if you take a chance and reach out to the person that invited you and say, I'm going to order this and I'm going to give it a try? You really have nothing to lose except your possibly your medications, right? Or your bigger clothing, and you have everything to gain. Everything. Just, I will tell you, it is hard. It is hard to be healthy in a system that's created to keep us unhealthy. But I promise you that you're worth it. I promise you it's doable. There are 363 people on this call right now, and I personally know I've probably helped maybe close to 1,000 by now. I see it every day. And if I can do it, and you heard these 4 people say they can do it, there is no reason that every single person on here cannot take control of your health. It's all about empowering yourself, believing in yourself, and educating yourself. We have these calls every single Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, where we just want to come pour into you, teach you about metabolic health, because when you have knowledge, you have the power to make informed decisions for yourself. And now we're telling you, guess what? You do have options. You do. And if you just stick to it, have some grace, have some patience, you didn't get sick overnight, give your body a chance to heal by providing it what it needs, you'll be a different person. So with that being said, I just want to say thank you so much for hopping on this call. Guys, thank y'all, for Liz, for Corey, Rick, and Renee for sharing your stories. Thank y'all for listening to me, and please reach out to the person that invited you. We hope to see you all next week. We'll hear some more amazing stories and learn something about metabolic health. So thank y'all so much.